Hi, I'm IKEA and I'm here to give you only the tip. And today we'll be discussing vendor sorting. And vendor sorting by itself is actually a very simple concept. For it, we use the vendors, that is the vendor in the vendor sorting. And our sorting method is just to go in there and after doing some setup, which I'll show after here, we go into that inventory tab that we have there, of course. And basically everything that we have looted will show up there, of course, including gear, weapons, and also mods and such. So you don't have to go into separate categories to kind of get rid of some of the loots. And this is generally how I go about setting up my gear to either be deconstructed or donated or sold as will be needed, as only the newer items show up here as long as you have favorited basically everything else that is parts of loadouts and your general gear on that character. And that part will take a little bit of time, first time setting it up, but actually once you have it set up once, it is basically just maintaining it, because everything that you have should actually be favorited in general anyway if you don't want to use it. If we don't have something favorited, let's say I will unfavorite this mask. If we now go into that same inventory menu, we can see actually that, yeah, it does show up here. We can actually, from this menu itself, mark it as favorite. And that's actually the easier way to set it up at the start. Go into this menu, see what shows up. Anything that is part of your gear, basically do it after you've done a cleanup or such. Everything that is just your stuff, make sure that it's favorited and it will then not show up in this list at all, of course. Of note as well is you want to actually also favorite all of the mods and such. And the easier way to do that is actually to go into a piece of gear and then actually go into this mod menu. All of the gear that is also equipped will show up in here as well. And you can actually favorite even all of the pieces, all of the mods that are already in gear, just because if you actually were to put a different mod in maybe, and let's say this disrupt kind of came out of that gear, then you were, if it isn't favorited, you might accidentally sell it or deconstruct it or such. So yeah, to avoid that, favorite all of the things all of the time, and that should be your general MO anyway. Once you've done that, it is basically maintaining it, because as you add gear or swap a weapon here or there, it's just favoriting that one item. Same, do the same as well for your stash, because actually all of the items, this being my stash menu, all of the items in there are also favorited. And once that is set up, then yeah, you can actually use this menu to just go through all of the gear that you've gotten afterwards, because all of your items being favorited will exclude them from here. So it's just going to be newer items, everything you're getting from completing activities or pickups or such. You can come into here, look through the stats, and then make sure if you want to keep them, you can keep them. If you want to junk them, you mark them as junk and then either donate them or deconstruct them.